Hello everyone, a very good afternoon my dear students. This is Pushpalata working as English PGT, Jagadgirgutta school. Today I feel as though I am out of the cage because we have been stuck to our homes from nearly 1.5 months, right? Yes, and today I am going to tell you a small story about Mr. Rahul. Mr. Rahul had to go to Mumbai to attend an interview. Okay, so he reaches Delhi railway station and he finds all the carriages to be full and he finds no space to at least stand, and he just plans something in his mind, gets out of the carriage and he brings a plastic snake and throws it in the carriage. All the passengers who got scared of this snake, even without knowing whether it is a plastic or real one, they just runs out of the carriage. Soon he finds an empty berth, lays down on it, and soon he falls asleep. Okay. Later, after 4 to 5 hours, do you guess what happens? After 4 or 5 hours, he wakes up and comes out of the carriage, and he thinks it would be a station nearby Mumbai, and he asks the TTE. You know who is a TTE? TTE is Travelers Ticket Collector. Like how we have bus conductor, we have TTEs in trains to check our tickets. So he comes out of the carriage and asks, which station is this? And he gets into shock while listening to that. He says it is Delhi railway station. And oh, he is aghast. Oh my God, what happened? The TTE answers, there was a snake in the carriage. So this entire carriage was separated from the rest of the train, and the train has already left for Mumbai. So can you guess what happened? So he could not attend his interview. Okay, so he was in deep trouble with his over cleverness. Okay, do you like the story? Yes. What do you understand with this? What did you observe in this? There is a conversation, right? There is a conversation. Here is the picture of the story, you can see. There is a conversation between Mr. Rahul and the TTE. Okay, if you see, he is Mr. Rahul. Okay, here is Mr. TTE. Okay, Rahul questions, which station is this? And the TTE answers, it is Delhi railway station. So there went on a conversation between them, right? So if you ask me, what did Rahul ask the TTE? I would answer Rahul questioned the TTE which station that was. Okay, which station that was. So whatever Rahul questioned becomes direct speech. Whatever I have answered you becomes the indirect speech. So today we are going to see something on direct and indirect speech. Okay, students, here whatever we report in our regular conversations, whatever we report, we do that in two ways. Okay, one is in direct speech, the other is in indirect speech. Okay. So how do we speak directly? How do we speak directly? When we quote the actual words of the speaker, it is direct. Okay. This can be identified with the help of punctuation. Even when you write something on paper in direct speech, punctuation becomes very much important. Punctuation becomes important. Okay. So, the clause which is there in quotes, for example, if you say Rahul said I am in Delhi. Okay, this particular sentence is in direct speech. Okay, the clause which is there in quotes is marked as direct speech. Okay, these are the direct words of the actual words of the speaker. Okay. So, what is reporting? We have in direct speech, whatever we just report in two ways. One is indirect, the other is in indirect. So, what is direct? We just quote the actual words of the speaker without changing anything. Okay. When we change it into in our own words, that becomes indirect. So, why do we report at all? Did you get any doubt like that any time? Why do we report? So, have you heard anything called reporters outside English class? Yes, it must be, right. We have reporters in our daily life who reports news from all corners of the world. Okay. So, how are you coming to know the spread of coronavirus, even that has not even entered India, like what all it has done in China we came to know, what all it has done in the other countries, European countries we came to know. So, how did we come to know all these things along with the statistics? This is all done, okay, with the help of reporters. They research, they came to know, okay, whatever they have received, they have reported to us through news channels, newspapers. Not just in news channels and newspapers, but also in our everyday regular conversations, we normally converse in direct as well as indirect. So, today we are going to learn how to speak in direct and how to report that in indirect. Okay. And whenever we report something from direct to indirect, we just combine it with the conjunction that, for suppose if you say Rahul said, we just combine this with saying that. Okay. This is a conjunction which joins two parts of the sentence. So, here Rahul said I becomes he. Okay. So, am becomes was, because we have to change it into past. He was in Delhi. Okay. No quotes are used. No quotes are used in indirect speech. Anyway, we are going to look into those details. Yeah. When we analyze a sentence, so how are you going to do it? The two parts of a sentence. Okay. If you take the example, Rahul said to Ram, I am going to Delhi. I am going to Delhi. So, Rahul said to Ram, I am going to Delhi. So, can you see there are two parts in this sentence? Yes, the one before the comma is a reporting clause. It is called a reporting clause. Okay. The one which is there in the quotation marks is called reported clause. The one which is there in quotes is called reported clause. Okay. So, this is the main part which we have to analyze. What is this? Said is a verb. Said is a verb, and based on this only you are going to change the tense of the direct speech into indirect speech. Okay. So, all these depends. If the reporting verb is in past tense only, we are going to change the tense of the direct speech into indirect. Otherwise, the tense does not change. Okay. So, this part of said is called reporting verb. Reporting verb. We have two verbs in every direct speech, So, this is reporting verb, this is called reported verb. So, how are you going to change the reporting verb? For example, we have said. In all the other sentences, we may get said or said to or told. So, whatever we get, like if we get said to in indirect speech, it is going to be said only. If we get said to, it is converted as told. Why do you think it is said and it is converted as said only, and if we are writing said to, we are writing told? Why is it? Is there any reason? Is there any reason for converting said to told? And even if we write told also, even if we get told as reporting verb also, we are going to write it as told only. Okay, why only this change? What is to doing here? So, there is going to be a listener, okay, there is going to be another person in the reporting clause itself, okay. So, when there is another person like this, so said to, okay. So, we are going to write it as told in indirect speech, okay. We are going to write it as told into indirect speech, because we can't say Rahul said Ram, okay. So, it is going to be Rahul told Ram that he was going to Delhi, okay, right. So, we have seen change of reporting verb, how it is going to be changed. Now, we are going to see change of other words, whatever you find in direct speech, how they are going to be changed into indirect. We have, for example, if you find this in direct speech, it is going to be that. If you find these, it is going to be changed to those. If you find now, I am in TSAT studio now, okay. So, how is that going to be changed? I say that I am in TSAT studio now. So, if there is now in any direct speech like that, the exact now is going to be changed as then, okay. If you see here, it is going to be there. If it is ago, it is going to be before. If it is today, that day, yesterday, the previous day, last night, the previous night, last Sunday, the previous Sunday. So, whatever last, if you see, those all words going to be changed as the previous, okay. If you see tomorrow, it is going to be the following day, the next day. If you see next week, it is going to be the following week, next Sunday, the following Sunday, next month, year, or whatever it is. If you see next, it is going to be the following, okay. It's got all these words are going to be replaced in this way, and you are going to observe in the coming slides, okay. Thus is going to be so, hence, thence, tonight, that night, okay. And how are you going to change the tense of the direct speech? We came to know that if the reporting verb is in past tense, we are going to change the tense of the direct speech from direct to indirect. How are you going to change the tenses? How are you going to change the tenses from direct to indirect? So, all the present tenses are going to change to past tenses, okay, if you want to remember easily, okay. All the simple present tense change into simple past, present continuous tense becomes past continuous, present perfect becomes past perfect, present perfect continuous becomes past perfect continuous. Understand, students? Yes. All the simple past becomes past perfect, past continuous becomes past perfect continuous tense, okay. So, these are the 6 main tenses that are going to be changed, right. So, we are going to analyze each and every tense again, how they are going to change from direct to indirect. Then past perfect and past perfect continuous tense, there won't be any change, because we can't change them into future perfect or future perfect continuous tense, okay. So, there won't be any change in these 2 tenses. Now, future, if you see modal verbs like will, shall would change into would, should, can, may, might change into can and might. So, coming to, have you thought of, so are you aware of gossiping? Yes. Do you all like gossiping? Yes, we like gossiping, right? So, how do you gossip? Do you like to look for the tense, in what tense it is, and are you going to change the tense, and are you going to think about the change of tense, change of direct and indirect, and are you going to do in such a way? No, right? So, we do not think of anything in gossiping, we just gossip like that. But when you are coming to formal English, we are going to follow some ground rules and regulations in changing from direct to indirect, and how we have some rules and formulas in mathematics. So, do you have any rules in mathematics? Yes, you have formulas, right? If x is equal to 10 and y is equal to 4, something like that, if they give, you are going to change and you are going to apply those numbers into formula, right, and you are going to do the sum. In the same way, here we have certain rules to follow while converting direct speech to indirect. So, we are going to look into the main tenses or the main rules of changing from direct to indirect. So, now the simple present, you know the formula of a simple present? Yes, subject plus V1 plus object, subject plus V1 plus object, and it's how is it going to be changed? I told you already. The simple present going to be simple past. If you see, Rahul said, I want to go to Mumbai. Rahul said, I want to go to Mumbai. So, I want to go to Mumbai. So, how are you going to change? The subject Rahul is going to be like that only. Rahul said. Said, what did I tell you? Said is going to be converted as said only. Okay. So, here we are going to join these two parts of the sentence with a that. Okay. Rahul said that. Who is I here? I is no one but Rahul himself. So, do we write Rahul again? No. So, Rahul said that he. So, what is the V2 form of W? Want. So, it is V2. So, he wanted. The rest of the sentence would be, it is written as it is. He wanted to go to Mumbai, right? Did you understand, students? The simple present tense, which is subject plus V1 plus object, is going to be changed into simple past, subject plus V2 plus object, okay, with just a conjunction, adding a conjunction that. Okay. So, shall we go into the next example? He said to me, you are a kind person. Okay. So, how are you going to change it? He said to me, you are a kind person. So, how are you going to change it? So, he said to me. So, what is said to should become, I told you already, said to must become told. Okay. He will be subject to he. We are not going to change that. He told me, again we have to add it, right? He told me that. He told me that. Okay. So, who is here? I told you, you are a kind person. He told me that I was a kind person. You becomes, it is me only, no? Somebody told me that. He said, told me that I was a kind person. You are a kind person. So, you becomes I here. The pronoun you becomes I here. I was a kind person, because it must be changed into past. I was a kind person. Okay. Right. All right. Shall we look into another example? They said he plays football. Okay. Do you all play football? Yes, all of us play, right? They said he plays football. So, how is it going to be changed? They will be they said. You are going to combine both the clauses with that, and you are going to change plays into played, because it is converting from simple present to simple past, right. So, they said that he played football. Did you understand, students? Yes. Now, coming into the next rule, present continuous tense is going to be past continuous tense. So, what is the formula for present continuous? Subject plus is plus am plus are plus V1 plus ing. Okay. So, it is going to be changed into past perfect tense. Shall we look into another example? Rahul thought the train is moving fast. Okay, Rahul thought the train is moving fast. Okay, thought, it is in past tense only, we have to just draw it like that. Okay, Rahul will be Rahul, thought will be thought, the train is moving fast. So, it is going to be from present continuous to past continuous. So, thought that, here we have to change that, the train is becomes was, because it is from present continuous to past continuous, right. So, was moving fast, that is it, it is very simple, right. So, shall we look into another example? Yes. He said to me, I am writing an exam. Okay. He said to me, I am writing an exam. Okay. He must be he, said to must become told. Okay. He said to her that I am writing an exam. He said to her, he told her that he was writing an exam. Okay. So, another example would be, they said we are playing chess. Okay. They said that, okay, we are going to combine both the clauses with a conjunction that. They said that they were, are becomes were here. Okay. They were playing chess. Is that right? Now, present perfect tense, we are going to change it to past perfect tense. Okay. Subject plus has or have plus V3 plus object would be the formula for. So, how are we going to convert? Shall we take up an example here? Okay. If you take a sentence from story, Rahul said to the passenger, I have felt uncomfortable in the carriage. Okay. Rahul said to the passenger. Rahul said to the passenger, I have felt uncomfortable in the carriage. Okay. Rahul said to, okay, said to the passenger. To whom did he tell? Rahul told. Said to becomes told. Rahul told the passenger that. Who is I here? The pronoun I is no one but Rahul. Okay. So, here we are going to change it to he. Okay. Rahul told the passenger that, okay, I becomes he. Have must become he had. Okay. He had felt uncomfortable in the carriage. Okay. So, shall we look into another example? She said to them, I have prepared the breakfast. She said to them that she has already prepared the breakfast. So, she said, I have prepared the breakfast. So, how are you going to change? Again, said to becomes she only, said to becomes told. Okay. She told them that I becomes she here. Okay. Because it all depends how are we changing this I into he, or if a feminine gender is here, it is going to be changed into she. If it is male, it is going to be changed to he. Okay. So, she said to them, I have prepared the breakfast. So, how is it going to be changed? She told them that she had prepared the breakfast, because it is, we are converting this sentence into past perfect tense. Okay. Now, present perfect continuous tense. So, present perfect continuous tense. So, if we look into the example, the TTE asked Rahul, how long have you been sleeping here? Because he missed his train. Soon after he entered into the carriage, he felt asleep and no one woke him up, and he was just sleeping like that. After 4 or 5 hours, he missed whatever the program he had to attend, right. So, afterwards when he was conversing with the TTE, this was the conversation. The TTE asked Rahul, how long have you been sleeping here? Okay. How long have you been sleeping here? The TTE asked Rahul, how long have you been sleeping here? Is a question. The sentence is in question form. Okay. So, we are going to look into the greater details next, how the question forms are going to change into indirect speech. So, here the TTE asked Rahul, how long have you been sleeping here? The TTE, so how are you going to, so it is a question, right. So, we are going to put the subject, the TTE asked Rahul, it is a question, right. So, we are going to change it into the TTE questioned. The TTE questioned. Whom did he question? He questioned Rahul. That, it should be combined with, the TTE questioned Rahul that. Okay. How long he had been sleeping here? Okay. How long? It will be starting with question only. So, how long he had been. So, have been, the question form have you been becomes he had been. Okay. So, even the direct speech is in question form also, it has to be converted as assertive sentence only. All these sentences whatever we are dealing now are in assertive form. Okay. Assertive is nothing but it is declarative statements. Declarative or statements are one and the same. How long he had been sleeping. Okay. So, here is converted as there. Okay. So, I have given another example also, it is same like that. Simple past. Simple past must be changed into past perfect tense. So, what is the importance of converting anything from direct to indirect? See, every day we read newspapers, right. If you see something that is like if a reporter reports something wrong, for example, your favorite hero or heroine have visited some other country, European country last month, they say I visited. Okay. So, if he reports saying I am going to visit, so how would it be? There would be a lot of problem. Okay. So, the we get misunderstandings in between, right. So, reporting is very much important. So, the rules are also important to change from direct to indirect. Rahul told one of the passengers, I missed my train. Okay. So, how are you going to change it? Rahul told is going to be told. Rahul told one of the passengers that he had missed his train. Okay. My becomes his here. Okay. So, Ravi said to Radha, I designed a new app last week. Okay. Ravi said to becomes told, the reporting verb said to becomes told that he had designed a new app. Okay. Last week. For example, next example would be, she said I played basketball yesterday. Okay. She said that she had played, because it is past perfect, she had played basketball the previous day. Yesterday becomes the previous day. You can see the change here. Okay. Past continuous tense. Past continuous tense would be changed into past perfect continuous. If you say Rahul asked the TTE, where was the train going? Okay. So, Rahul questioned the TTE where the train had been going. Okay. The exactly how the formula is. Okay. You have to change it to the next one, the past perfect continuous. Rahul said to Ramya, I was playing basketball the whole evening. Okay. Rahul told Ramya that he had been playing basketball the whole evening. So, I already told you will and shall of the future tense is changed into would and should. Here if you see the example, they said we will plan a picnic tomorrow. So, they said it today. Okay, they said today we will plan a picnic tomorrow. So, how are you going to change it? They said that, the conjunction that, they will becomes would. They would plan a picnic tomorrow. What does tomorrow will be converted to? It would be converted to the next day, as you see in the example. Okay. So, even the modal verbs like can, may and is changed into could, might and had to. Okay. So, he said I can sing a song. It is as simple as that. He said that he could sing a song. Okay. She said I may go to Paris. May is going to change to might. Okay. She said I may go to Paris. She said that she might go to Paris. So, she said I must eat a healthy diet. Okay. She said that. So, I becomes she here, must becomes had to. Okay. As I converted, she had to eat a healthy diet. Okay. Now, coming to some exemptions. If the reporting verb is in present tense or the future tense. Okay. So, the tense of the direct speech is not going to be changed into like the tense won't be changed in indirect speech, it will be as it is. If you see, he says, okay, he says is in simple present or will say is in simple future. So, he says or will say, what is it denoting? We are not going to change the tense of the direct speech. So, it is going to be as it is. Okay. The horse is running. So, we have kept the horse is running as it is in indirect speech also. Okay. He says or will say the horse is running. So, we are going to keep it as it is. He says or will say that the horse is running. Okay. Now, so there is no change when you are expressing a permanent situation, a universal truth or a scientific fact or anything that the situation has not changed. You are not going to change the verb to the past tense. Okay. See, if you say direct speech, Ram said wood floats on water. It is a scientific fact, wood floats on water. So, we are not going to change the tense from direct to indirect. We are not going to change the tense of the direct speech. Okay. So, it would be Ram said that wood floats on water as it is. So, if you see, he said the sun rises in the east. Okay. Can anyone say the sun rose in the west yesterday or the sun rose somewhere yesterday or sun is going to rise somewhere tomorrow? No, it is going to be a fact, universal truth, right. He said the sun rises in the east would be the sun rises in the east only. He said that the sun rises in the east only. So, what about situation which does not change? If you say for example, so and so Shruti said my new job is interesting. Okay. So, her new job is still interesting. So, we need not change it into saying that her new job was interesting, but here we have one more exception. We can either keep the tense as it is or we can also change it into past tense. There is no hard and fast rule that we have to keep it in keep the tense like that or we have to change it into past tense. Okay. So, we can say Shruti said that her new job was interesting is correct, her new job is interesting is also right. Both the ways it is right. Okay. So, what about reporting something yes or no? Okay. What about something reporting yes or no? Yes or no questions when you are reporting the reported clause would start either with if or whether. Okay, as you see in the slide, the girl asked him, can you sing with me? Okay, the girl asked, can you sing with me? So, the girl asked him if he could. Can becomes could. Okay, you sing with me, me becomes her. Okay. In the direct speech again, while using whether, the teacher said to the students, are you all going to the picnic? Yes. How are you going to change this tense? The teacher asked the students whether they were all going to the picnic. So, how are you going? She is confirming whether they are going to the picnic or not. So, the teacher said, asked the students whether. So, are you all becomes they were all, okay, going to the picnic or not. So, WH questions. How are you going to report WH questions? Somebody questions. So, what did you do? How are you going to change it? So, we see the question begins with a question word like what, where, how, when, why and all. These question words are used as linkers between the reporting verb and the reporting questions, right. So, why did you sleep? Said the TT. The TT was asking, why did you sleep and miss your train? Okay, the TT questioned. So, how are you going to link that? So, it is a question, right. So, we are going to make it as the TT questioned. Why? It is going to start with why. So, did you sleep is a question, right. So, we are going to convert it into some statement. Why he had slept. Okay, is that right? So, when an order, a permission or request is reported, how are you going to report that? That reporting verb is going to be followed by the word to, right. So, the teacher said you may go home. Okay, you may go home. What is it? It is giving permission, right. The teacher was allowing students to go home. Okay. So, it must be reported as the teacher permitted who? It is me, permitted me to go home. So, we are going to start like the verb is going to be followed by to preposition to. So, if you look for another example, he said close the door please. Okay, he said close the door please. He requested, please here indicates okay, request. So, he requested. Whom did he request? There is no other person, it is me only. Okay. So, he requested me to close the door would be the answer, right. So, how are you going to report exclamatory sentences? What are exclamatory sentences? Exclamatory sentences are the sentences which show a sudden or strong feeling, right. So, how are you going to express or how are you going to change them into indirect? See, she said, wow, what a beautiful flower it is. Okay. So, all the like whatever questions or WH or yes or no or imperative, whatever we are converting from direct to indirect, everything becomes as like it is going to be assertive only. Okay. It must be converted into assertive. So, she was wondered with the beauty of the flower, right. She said, wow, what a beautiful flower it is. Okay. So, it is going to be changed into as she exclaimed with wonder that. Okay. So, we are going to add that here again the conjunction, it was a beautiful flower. Okay. So, it is becomes it was a beautiful flower, the rest of the sentence. Okay. Next, he said, oh, I lost my mobile. So, are you going to feel happy if you lose your mobile? No, right. We feel very sad. Okay. Oh, I lost my mobile is the expression. Okay. Here, oh, the interjection oh is going to be changed as it shows some sadness here. Okay, as it depended on the sentence. He exclaimed with sorrow that he had lost his mobile. Okay. I lost becomes he had lost his mobile. Yes, children, did you all understand? So, whatever assertive statements or interrogative are of two kinds, WH questions and yes or no questions. Yes or no questions begins with auxiliary verbs or WH questions begins with WH words. Okay. And imperative. and exclamatory. Whatever the sentences you take up, whatever the sentence you have to convert from direct to indirect, it's going to be finally a statement only. The answer would be any indirect statement would be statement only, and we are not going to use any exclamatory marks or questions or any of such sort. Okay. Now, coming to today's project. You just read a passage every day in English, and you will definitely find some direct speeches. Note them down in a notebook and find in what tense it is, and try to convert them into indirect speech, and while you return to school you have to bring them. Okay. So, now note down, the next task would be note down 10 sentences of everyday conversation. So, how do you converse in English or in Telugu at home? If you have siblings of higher classes or lower classes, try to start in English only. Okay. Try to speak to them in English. Simple sentences, whether it may be wrong also, no problem, because as communication is more important nowadays. Okay. So, try to speak with them in English, whatever the conversation you bring up, okay, between you, okay, from morning till evening, note them down in a notebook, okay, and try to convert them also into indirect speech. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.